Hello, my name is M. I go by Woozy Boy on Instagram, Woozy Kyoko here on YouTube, and the little lady with 3 zeros on TikTok. I'll put it all in the description. For this video, I'm making a time lapse of one of my recent drawings I've done on Procreate. I'm using a reference from Pinterest to get this pose on the bottom left done. And I also used one of my other recent sketches of Tim to get more of his face correct of what Tim looks like. In the top right, I'm also drawing Tim sleeping. I used a medium airbrush on Procreate to do this entire drawing. I've been trying different methods with shading and line art just to see what works with me and what doesn't. My idea was I really like the bottom left pose, and I kind of wanted him submerged. I wanted it to look like he was submerged within the picture. I started shading the hair, and I've been trying to utilize the lasso tool in Procreate, which I never would. Like, I've always just painted digitally my shading and stuff, which a lot of the times it would come out muddy. Depending, it just took me more time and effort to get it to look cleaner when I could just utilize these tools. So the lasso tool basically in the bottom left just can take a section of whatever you circle, and then you can shade that selection however you like. I'm still getting used to it though, because I still have trouble whenever I'm blending out the highlights and stuff. It can kind of get lost. So I'm still working on it, still practicing, still something I need to learn. But I'm definitely trying to work smarter when it comes to shading my art pieces now. There's a lot I need to learn, but I will be posting my process on YouTube and TikTok mostly, and Instagram as well, but mostly YouTube and TikTok, so. Oh, and fun little thing that happens with Procreate sometimes is right there, if I'm working on a piece of my drawing for a while, shading, drawing, whatever it may be, if I'm zoomed in for a while, or not even, if I'm just working on it for a good bit of time, Procreate will do this fun thing where it will just exit out the app, and anytime I try to reopen my drawing, it will just crash and exit me out the app. And I have to be careful because I try to open, when I reopen Procreate, I try to open images that are like maybe empty, or canvases that are empty, or maybe that my daughter drew on. So it's like nothing is at risk of being damaged. But a lot of the times, whatever little section that I've been working on for a good while will be erased in a square or a certain section. So I basically have to redo it. And I don't know why Procreate does this. I don't know if it's just the storage. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the storage in my iPad. I've seen on Reddit that that's just a common thing with the app, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, just something that I don't like having to deal with. But anyway, just having fun painting and shading the colors of Tim. For his lore and his story, I feel like there's a lot that I want to update and really try to think more about. Because I want a lot of the art that I make to just speak for itself sometimes. I have an issue of just over-explaining. But with his lore, I want it to be well thought out, because I've had this character since I was in high school, since 2017 or 2018. I just want to take more time to put thought into him. So maybe in another video, if I do a character sheet, I'll go more into his lore and stuff. I kind of realized that in this drawing, I want to maybe do a negative flower. I ended up not liking it because it just ends up looking like a negative blob if I look at it too long. So I scrapped that. I scrapped the top right drawing of Tim as well. The more I looked at it, I started playing with the liquefy tool to kind of make the flower into horns and just look more, I don't know how to describe it, but liquidy around Tim in the bottom pose. So I start shading the top right drawing of Tim, and then I realized, like, okay, the highlights are getting lost in him. I just don't want to, I'm gonna scrap it. So put him in the middle, use that liquefying tool, make the horns out of the flower, and start editing using a glitch effect and adding text, and that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be more consistent here on YouTube and on TikTok as well compared to Instagram, so just be sure to follow both of those accounts so you can stay tuned with my art journey and what else I make in the future. And until next time, keep creating and never stop practicing.